going on, everybody? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Viall Files, Going Deeper edition. I'm your host, Nick, joined by Allie and Amanda. How is everyone doing? How are you ladies? What's going on?
It's going well. Going well.
Been going great. I've been watching a lot of the show Old Enough, which is this adorable show where toddlers run errands.
That show.
It's awesome.
Not familiar with it. I just started watching Blackbird.
If you watch Old Enough, you will have kids.
Right? Shanti does.
The second you watch Old Enough, you will impregnate Natalie.
What's it on? What's it called?
It's called it's on Netflix, and it's
they task 2 or 3 year olds to walk to the supermarket and get
run
4 things
for
and
their
come
parents. Back. It's so cute.
So it's if you want to feel good, mindless TV.
I don't know that it's mindless. Maybe it's mindless, but it's certainly full of heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't mean mindless
it's easy watching.
Yeah,
it's
easy watching.
Easy watching, good for the soul,
yeah, that's what
happy, positive. It rocks.
Well, I've been watching Blackbird. It's not positive or easy for the soul, but it's really good. And it says inspired by a true story, which I think is a step below of based on a true story.
My favorite is inspired by actual events or something.
Interesting. It's really good. It's on Apple TV, Blackbird. If you like a good murder mystery, kind of serial killer kind of stuff.
Well, speaking of someone who is definitely not a serial killer, Wells Adams.
Do we know? I mean, how do we ever really know?
I just feel like he's the most positive vibe person.
He'd make a great serial killer.
I don't think he could be a serial
you'd never
killer.
suspect.
You'd never suspect. He'd be amazing at it.
He just talks about joy all the time.
You could run into him, blood on his hands, leaving the scene of a murder, and you'd have a very pleasant small talk conversation and forget anything happened.
Well, Wells Adams is with us to talk a little wedding
A little bit of paradise tea.
A little paradise. It's always fun to catch up with my dear friend Wells. And we talk a lot, so maybe we should just get into it. Don't forget to send in those reviews if they're 5 stars. Honestly, only if they're 5 stars. Send in those questions at asknick@castmedia.com, cast with a K. For all you sports fans out there, another episode of Fandemonium is out today live at 6 p.m. on AMP. Go ahead and download the AMP app. Link in bio. They'll be in our show description, all that fun stuff. I post about it every Wednesday. And we'll once again be talking all things training camp, NFL, news, all that fun stuff. So join us. All right. Well, let's get to Wells Adams. Wells, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really pumped that you're in a different location because it's closer to my house.
Yeah.
So, as long as it's
conducive to you.
For my happiness. That's all that really matters.
Yeah. Well, we're like minds in that way.
Yeah. Oh, you live right down the street from me, so this is a little bit better of a commute for you too.
It's about the same actually. Because although while I live close to you, I was more in the direction of the older studio.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. But you can get stuck going up that hill, past Hollywood Bowl, I feel like.
Yeah. How have you been? I haven't seen you in a while.
I know, it's been a really long time, and I feel bad because we keep on being we need to get together, and
you planned the double date, which we had to cancel.
Yeah, I know.
And then, but we'll get on
so
the
that's
books.
On you.
That is on me.
So I'm a good friend.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
What's new?
I got a new show coming out on Hulu on September 19th called Best in Dough that I'm hosting. And
Pizza competition.
So have you ever been to, I tried to get you to come to Pizzana.
We order it often.
Yeah. So there's a restaurant in LA called Pizzana, which is really great. And so I did this show with the head chef over there. His name is Daniele Uditti. And basically it's a show about pizza makers going against one another for cash prize and gifts and stuff. And it's kind of similar to a lot of other cooking shows that you've seen where there's wacky challenges or make them do things out of the box. But at the end of the day, it's just one big pizza party. And we filmed 10 episodes in 10 days. And it was the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. And I saw the first episode and I've gotten the trailer and it looks so fun. And so I really hope that everyone goes and watches it before they go to bed. And again,
September 19th?
On Hulu.
On Hulu.
Yeah.
Did you get the judge?
Yeah, so I'm hosting it, but then I'm also one of the judges. But we've got a fun little wrinkle in this because pizza is for the people. We have a pizza jury that comes in. So they don't really understand, they don't really know what everyone's doing. We just give them pizzas and they get to just say this one's my favorite, this one's my second favorite or whatever. And so if there's ever a tie, the pizza jury's vote is the tiebreaker. So, but it's not some cooking shows, the judges can be mean and like you feel bad for the cooks for like, screwing up or burning something. It's not like that. It's like very positive. And also like there isn't a pizza show, which is, I can't believe like there's like, is this microphone cake show, but there isn't like a show about pizza.
Did it change your perspective on pizza?
Well, yeah. So I mean, we bring in people who like are not pizza chefs. We bring in like, Michelin star, James Beard award-winning chefs that like don't do pizza, and we like make them do it, and like their take on pizza is completely different from like, nonas from like the old country who make pizza like the authentic way, or like kids that are in college who like make pizza, in their microwave and like do. So I think what I learned is like, one, there's like a million ways to skin a cat. There's like so many different ways to enjoy pizza, and like everyone, you can be from like anywhere in the world and still have like your slice of pie, and that was really, really cool.
I want to make you my pizza, see what you think.
I have a pizza oven now. Daniele gave me a pizza oven, so
I want to build one in my back.
Yeah. Well, I like a Gosney one. So, anyways, come over. We can try stuff out. Yeah.
All right, September 19th, Hulu. What's in the name of the show?
Best in Dough.
Best in Dough.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Let's see. I've been engaged for 3 years.
You have? What is
84 years.
The wedding is coming up-ish.
It's coming up-ish, yes. You'll be in attendance.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I got a suit for it in Paris.
Yeah? Oh.
Yeah.
It's nothing super fancy. It was on sale.
That's good.
It was the couples.
Are you ever going to wear your suit from Ben Higgins' wedding again?
That was my biggest regret.
What happened?
I was shocked you didn't just rewear it to his.
Because it was a stupid move. Ben's wedding was like the first like going out event like of the pandemic, right? And I hadn't played dress up in a long time, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna treat myself to a really nice suit. Mm-hmm. So we went suit shopping, and I splurged on this Dolce & Gabbana suit. Nice. Great, but like it's pinstripe. You can't. It's a statement piece.
Yeah,
and you can't really wear that
unless you're in the mob
all the time. Well, you just can't wear it to like Wells. It's not like I bought a navy suit that like you could wear a different shirt and a different tie and totally style it. And I spent all this money, a lot of money, and it's on a suit that I was like, why? I can't do that.
It's funny. So you bring that up. Sarah's got like 7 wardrobe changes for this wedding. Like it's a whole thing. And I have one suit. And so we were going back and forth whether or not I do the tuxedo or like a regular suit. And I'm spending the most I've ever spent on clothing on this suit. Like this is more like my first car was, right? And, my friend who like is my stylist, I'm doing air quotes because she's usually my friend that like helps me out, but she's like, you should have a tuxedo. And I was like, no, I want a good suit, black suit that I can just continue to wear. If I'm spending this much money, I'm going to keep on using this. Like this isn't going to be a one deal thing.
I know. Every time I look at my closet and I see it, I'm just like, I want to wear it again. It's really beautiful, but it's a statement piece. But anyways, I'm looking forward. The suit I got for your wedding, I can wear.
Can you give us a tease about what we're going to be looking at?
It's a blue. It's a light blue. It's
light blue?
Not light. No, I'm sorry. Oh. It's a
powder blue.
A midnight blue? Like lighter than navy, but still dark?
Yes.
I think that's midnight blue.
Yeah, it's lighter than navy, but still not light blue. I got it from the Couples, which is a Paris brand in Paris. Don't know what I'm wearing it with. Haven't gone that far, but
like shoes wise,
or like a tie or colored shirt, and maybe even bow tie. I don't know.
Speaking of Paris, I definitely thought you were going to come back engaged.
Well, didn't we all?
It's not my style.
Yeah, not the most romantic city in the world. Why would you do that?
I knew he wouldn't though because he wants to be able to go back to it easily for anniversaries. He said this before.
Smart.
I want to be able to revisit the place.
A park.
I got engaged.
Yeah, I hear that.
How was you joked about the long engagement? And obviously COVID played a huge role in that. Oh, yeah. But nevertheless, like people have had long engagements. Was it ever stressful at times? Did it ever kind of get in your guys' head, like being engaged so long, or was it just like, hey, shit happens, we roll with it, or do you have advice for people who get engaged and have an unsuspected long engagement?
Well, I mean, ours was completely controlled by the pandemic. I mean, we originally got engaged in July of 2019. We were going to get married on 8/8/2020.
Wow.
Yeah. And Sarah posted a picture today because today actually is the anniversary of the day that we were supposed to get married the first time. So she was like, would have been married for 3 years or whatever, 2 years, whatever it is, today, but, coming soon or whatnot. And then we were supposed to get married July 31st of 2021. Then again, COVID was like, you're not doing that. And then now we're at this year. And I will say that, like, for a lot of people, I assume it could have gone one of two ways for you. Either you're engaged and it's quarantine and you're on top of one another and like you fucking can't handle it and it ends, or you're like, wow, if we can get through this, like the rest of life is going to be super breezy. Because, it was tough. We were like living on top of one another, like she would be out in the pool house and I would be in the theater room, like it was really tough there for a little bit. But anyways, no, like I think that we discovered that, like,
I got your joke.
Took you a second. I got. But I think we realized that, like, if we can make it through this, we can make it through anything. And so, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm freaked out about monkeypox. Like, if that takes us down for the third time, like, I don't know. I know it's another joke. I don't think monkeypox is going to take down our wedding for a third time.
People are getting very serious about it.
Oh, I know. It looks scary. Yeah. You seen pictures?
Yeah, it's not fun.
I don't want to get
anything
monkeypox.
that involved the word lesions is a really scary
Well, the other
disease.
thing is they've done a good job of branding this one, Like, monkeypox sounds terrifying. Like, it sounds like something out of, like, Biohazard level number 5, like, outbreak, like, don't want it,
Yeah.
Like, they didn't do a good job with polio because that doesn't seem that scary, That's
yeah,
like,
that sounds like a sport you play at a country club.
Is this a water sport?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a deadly disease.
Why don't I get to go?
Yeah.
Do you guys need therapy?
I for sure do. I think we all know that.
Well, we are advocates of taking care of your mental health on this show, and it's always can be a challenge to find the right therapist. Certainly there's costs associated with that. Well, BetterHelp is trying to make it easier than ever before, and they're doing a great job of that. You can use BetterHelp from the comfort of your home, and they try to make it as affordable as ever. And the best part is that they make it super easy to connect with the therapist that is right for you, because so much about like finding good therapy is just, finding the right therapist to connect with. Personality types, you just want to vibe with someone, and they make that part a really seamless process. You just go to betterhelp.com, you fill out a quick quiz, and again, whether it's money problems, relationship problems, maybe just general anxiety, maybe you just feel like mental fatigue, you don't really need any reason, and they will align you with a licensed therapist. And if you hit it off, great. If not, you can request to get a different one. And like I said, you can do it from your phone, your laptop. Maybe you don't want them to see your face. You want that anonymity, but you still want to be able to connect and discuss with someone and get some nice feedback. BetterHelp is much more affordable than in-person therapy. You can be matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. So if you're listening to this show, you've ever, maybe you've thought about therapy, maybe it's just like, I've always tried it. Why don't you just give BetterHelp a shot? You might be pleasantly surprised. And sometimes when it comes to therapy, it's just getting over that hurdle of just trying it out for the first time. And then you might find that you really find it beneficial. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Viall Files. That's betterhelp.com/VIALLFILES. Well, there's vitamins out there, and we all take, a lot of us take vitamins, but we're all made differently. And wouldn't it be nice to have vitamins that are made for us? Well, that's where Care of comes in. It's a subscription service that ships high-quality personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your door every month. Care of's convenient individual packets make traveling super easy. Just grab a few, one for each day you're gone, and your vitamin routine is set even when you're away from home. That is helpful. Every time I travel, I just get off my vitamin game. Now that I have Care of, not so much. Care of helps you start and add to a sustainable, enjoyable wellness routine aimed at helping you feel real results by building healthy habits. Care of's vitamin packs are made by plant-based compostable film, so you can stress less about your impact on the planet. So, we take vitamins, and we don't should we be taking this vitamin? Should we be taking that vitamin? Well, again, we are made differently, and Care of is helping you make sure you're taking the right vitamins vitamins for you at the pace or the schedule in which that's appropriate for you, and it helps you stay on track. How wonderful. I tell you, the quiz is super easy. The products, the package, you know it's high quality. And the best part is they've been helping me stay more consistent with the vitamins I take. Because before Care of, I would just
I'd get on these try a little bit of that.
I'd get on these vitamin kicks and I'd get off.
You're like, here's a generic multivitamin.
Some fish oil. I don't know,
Should I be taking fish oil?
Yeah. Well, with Care of, I feel like I'm being responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so right now you can get 50% off your first Care of order. Half off. Just go to takecareof.com. That's TAKECAREOF.com and enter code VIALL50. That's VIALL50 for 50% off your first Care of order. Again, go to takecareof.com and enter code VIALL50.
So anyways, no, I'm super pumped that this thing's gonna be going down. I do wish we had done things differently. Like, it's been so long now that I do wish we had gone to Paris, taken like 10 friends, and just knocked it out. Because what's funny about getting married is you're doing something for everybody else. Mm. It's much like a bachelor party or bachelorette party. Like, you're planning something for all of your friends. You know, like, they're going to get fucked up. They're going to get lap dances or what, they're going to do all those things on your bachelor party, and you're going to be the good boy or whatnot. And it's the same thing again for this wedding. Is I feel like we're doing all this stuff so everyone can have a great time. I mean, obviously we'll have a good time as well, but it seems like a little bit for everyone else.
Have you and Sarah had conversations about that and how you're going to try to still enjoy the day? Because I feel like I've never been married before, but I feel like it almost has to be a conversation between the two parties getting married to say, how do we enjoy this day?
I've gotten a lot of advice from people who are married who have like gone through it, and the couple things that I heard was during the wedding, never leave each other's side, because you got like split up and people be like, come, let's do shots or whatever, and all of a sudden it's 30 minutes later and you haven't seen your brand new wife. So it's like never separate, which I think that's a good one.
Yeah, that's good.
The other one is like, make sure you take time for yourselves. So we'll leave. Like, I think after the ceremony we'll leave and get away from everybody else, spend time with one another, probably knock some boots. Who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah.
And then like come back, and then also, and in my nature, I'm very like outgoing and gregarious. I think I'm at the fight the I need to talk to everybody here thing. Because like you can't do it. There's gonna be way too many people. You can't people please at a thing that's supposed to be about you. Like
you're a social butterfly.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard, and for Sarah too. And it's also like a lot of people we haven't seen in a couple of years because of the pandemic. So we're gonna have to fight that urge. And I think that's
what those brunches are for the next day.
Exactly.
And stuff like that.
And the welcome party, all that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, I'm pumped. I'm super excited for it. And there is something that's like really, I got to experience it a little on my bachelor party, where it's a weird feeling. It's very like heartwarming to have a lot of people like be there because they love you. Like they want to see like your love and they want to witness that. And I've never felt that way or had that feeling. And then like on my bachelor party, like everyone got up and gave a speech and was like, I'm so happy for you and like what's going to happen, going forward and all that stuff. And I was like, oh wow, this is like really sweet. So it's going to be like that, but like on steroids with 200 people or however many people are there, all like so happy for us. So I'm excited.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
Is there like an element of wedding planning that you think of the most that like is the most central of like, or that like is haunting or just like challenging, or like what is the thing of the wedding that you're like, I just need to deal with this one situation?
Yeah, wedding planning's been interesting because we got like such a great wedding planner, but Sarah is also like very hands-on. So I'm like, why are we paying this person so much money if like you're like taking care of everything, like sit back and like we've got someone like doing interior design in our house, and Sarah's like in every single email. I'm like, I thought we were paying this person to like make these decisions for us. What's happening? So I think a little bit of like you need to take a step back and like let people do like their jobs. But there's been a lot of really fun things that like I didn't know that I would enjoy so much, like the food tasting banger, because like these people are like they want your business, right? So they have like a little 5-course meal set up for you. And I mean, and they're trying hard.
Are you excited about your food?
Yeah.
They're whining and dining.
I tend to have a rule of never show up to a wedding hungry.
Yeah.
Just in case. because you don't really know what's being served.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I have a lot of faith in you, but in general, I just don't go starving. I don't go full.
Yeah.
But like, just in case.
He's got like a power bar in his back pocket.
Little protein shake. He's like,
part of it's me because I can be particular with certain foods, but I do feel like yours is going to be really solid.
I'm a little bit of a foodie, so if you are wanting like steak and potatoes, like actually we are having steak and potatoes, but they're gonna be like elevated. But like that part was really fun, like and like curating a menu. I was like, these are the things that I love. I want to. Like, I don't know. You don't watch golf, but there's a tournament called the Masters, and if you win the Masters,
I'm familiar with the Masters, well.
But like, so you're probably not familiar with this part. If you win the Masters, the next year you have to host the dinner for all the past champions, and you get to set the menu. And so it's like a big thing of like, what is DJ going to serve? Like he's a simple guy. Like, what is whoever going to serve? And I felt that way. I was like, this is my opportunity. I can serve whatever I want.
What's been the most famous dish served at the Masters party? That must be talked about.
Well, the last guy who won it, he is from Japan, and they did that Nobu cod. I don't know if you've had that, like the soy honey glazed cod or whatever. It's fire, dude. And so he had that, and then he had like sashimi and everything, and that was like a really different experience there. But anyway, so I got to feel that. That was fun. Doing the cake tasting, similar thing. Not a big sweets guy, but still like
I'd like the cake tasting.
Yeah, that was. I love that.
Are you doing fondant or?
I don't.
Do you know what I mean? Because
I
I
know
feel
what you're
like the
talking
fondant
about.
kind of sometimes. I get that visually it's important, but structurally, it's like that icing that's kind of like
it's like
doughy
Play-Doh.
and Play-Doh.
Yeah, no,
It's
we're
like
not.
how they sculpt things.
Ours is gonna be not to give too much away, but it's like rustic looking.
Oh.
Okay.
You know
Is there a
something
fruit in your cake?
That's a good
yes.
question. A compote?
We're doing something I can't say because Sarah's so pumped about it because it's like so off the wall. And when we gave it to the baker, she was like, "This is so different. I've never had this."
So it's Sarah's idea.
Yeah, Sarah's, because I'm not the desserts guy. She's the baker. So that was really fun. The band thing's been hectic, but like, because here's the thing. The thing that you will spend the most money on, besides like the actual venue, is flowers. Now, when I think of all the weddings I've ever gone to, could give two flying fucks about the flowers. I don't think about flowers.
I didn't even know there were flowers.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there are flowers here? And the worst part is that you just leave and then they just rot the table afterwards. The things that I remember from every wedding is band, were they awesome? Or DJ, whatever. Booze, was it good? Was it flowing?
open?
Was it flowing for a while? Food. And then like, back in my single days, like, did I take down a bridesmaid?
And
whatever. That wasn't like, man, the flowers coming down that.
The post wedding snack.
Yeah. Oh, don't worry, we got something good. Yeah, the after party's got a chef's kiss.
Well, I'm excited.
Yeah,
you're back from paradise.
Yeah,
I know you can't share a lot. I just have really one question.
Okay.
Will the viewers be able to see some redemption stories, and will be able to see some fall from graces? Some once were popular, the traditional, like what really gets the viewers of Paradise excited, where you get to see some new sides of people.
Yeah. Story arc, if you will, for these people. Yeah. Yes, on all accounts. It's funny, this is so different from years past because usually we would start filming about halfway through the season of The Bachelorette while airing. So I would watch while we were filming so I could get like a grasp of these guys. This is different. I went and filmed an entire season with a bunch of guys that like
I didn't know,
like, so what was like, what happened with you? Like, oh, you did this on,
Sure.
You were the bad guy, and they all sugarcoated if they were the bad guy or whatever, or the villain, if you will. So it was interesting. I really went in there with like eyes unclouded and just had like no bias at all. The season's really good. It's kind of bonkers. Like ABC ordered
a lot,
13 more hours than when we have done in the past. So it's like 6 more episodes depending on how they cut it up. So it's just a lot. And so I think because of that, because our shoot schedule didn't get longer. I just think that like all the things that in the past would have been left on the cutting room floor will now be in the show. And that's usually like, that's where I live. Like when they're like, you need to go do this like weird reenactment or like puppets need to happen, like all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited for that. But we do all the things that you want to see. Like there's a lot of crying. There's a lot of sweating and yelling into the ocean. There's a lot of crabs. And then there's a lot of love. And, there's some really beautiful stories at the end.
Okay.
And like what you want to see is
I want to see
the falling from grace.
I predicted long ago a Shanae redemption story because I took a lot of heat for suggesting that she isn't Satan. I haven't met Shanae. I don't know anything about her. I just know that sometimes as edits go, they can be.
Did they release some of the people that are going to be there?
I don't think we can confirm anyone. Okay. Yeah.
I will say I was the same way about Shanae. I was a huge fan of Shanae.
I just know she got a lot of heat, some of criticism she deserved, but there didn't seem to be any grace at all. And towards Tell-All last season, you saw all these other women kind of what I thought was they were kind of bullying her, but she was so hated by Bachelor Nation, they seemed to get away with it. And I'm curious if how things will play out in Paradise for her. And say people like, let's say if Genevieve goes, I'd be curious how that plays out as well.
You need people like Shanae. Like the show would not be interesting if everyone was nice,
Yeah.
And so I remember when they were getting rid of Shanae, and it was that beautiful like Genevieve Shanae moment where she was like, I'm acting like, what are you talking about? Like Genevieve had that great like reaction. And I was like, do not get rid of Shanae. Because if she leaves, I got nothing left to live for here. Like, I love this chick. She's always stirring up stuff. And I know that that's probably not the right way to look at it. But as someone who has to live with these people and be entertained for an entire summer, I want people that like cut it up and like will do what you need them to do, which make a fun TV show. So I hope she shows up and I hope she has a redemption story.
All right. Shall we get into some pop culture?
I think the thing on everyone's minds, the Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson breakup. Wells, how did you feel about the relationship as a whole? Like, we need to know where you're coming from as we discuss
Are you
this
okay?
latest update.
Like, does this doubt your relationship?
Yeah.
Are you feeling shaken to your core?
If they can't make it, man, who can? Sarah, call it off. I wonder if like his contract with Keeping Up with the Kardashians just expired, and like that's how breakups happen in that family. That's a joke. I don't think that's happened. The only thing is I felt bad because I feel like right afterwards, Khloe stole the thunder from the whole thing of like announcing the baby.
No, I'm pretty sure the baby announcement was first. And then so people were like,
the baby announcement was first?
I'm pretty sure. And then
so Kim and Pete stole the...
Wow. Maybe Khloe didn't want it in the... I mean, I don't put anything past Kris Jenner.
Oh, yeah.
She's brilliant.
Yeah. It was all orchestrated.
Nothing's accidental.
Yeah.
No.
At least with press releases. The big question is, do we doubt its authenticity,
No.
Pete and Kim?
Not at all.
We don't doubt it.
No. They are in love.
Were.
Well, not anymore.
Yeah. Well, I guess the whole thing was that they couldn't handle the long distance thing.
Yeah,
what broke him up?
He's in Australia.
Oh, is he filming Suicide Squad or something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? Like, they both own jets, or she does at least.
Yeah.
Give me a break. I just don't know where you go from here. Like,
for who?
For Pete, like, is it Beyonce?
No, I saw a tweet saying Queen Elizabeth.
Queen Elizabeth, like,
final fling.
Is he gonna like revive?
What's
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
What's
like,
that game you wanted to play?
Who can he top?
I'm so glad you said this, Wells, because I saw a tweet that was like, next Pete Davidson, Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah.
And it made me think there's very few people who it would be surprising if Pete Davidson dated. So I wanted to float some potential couples, see how the room felt about it.
By the way, you bring up Jennifer Coolidge, and I was talking about her on my show. Is it just me, or does Gabby sound exactly like Jennifer Coolidge?
Oh my God.
We mentioned that yesterday.
Now that you're saying that, it's like, wow.
Your dog's got brain cancer, dumbass.
I'm eating Rambo.
When she says, yeah, like, yeah.
A lot of yes.
Yeah.
And it got to the point. I did Arden's podcast, Will You Accept This Rose? And Steve Heitner, who's on SNL, was talking about, or was on Seinfeld, was talking about, and he was like, I can't stand it. She says yeah too much. And that's someone who just wants like waiting for their turn to talk, which I'm not really sure if that's what's happening. But once he brought it up and I watched the episode, I was like, man, she does say yeah.
She says yeah, but I don't think it's her waiting for her turn to talk. I think that's her actually listening.
Yeah.
She's a pretty good listener. And I think she's just like last episode, not to get into the Bachelor again, but she was like acknowledging what Rachel was saying, but also being like, yeah. You don't know if I don't believe that she's agreeing when she's saying yeah, but I believe that it's like, her acknowledging that she's listening.
Well, anyway, she does sound just like Jennifer Coolidge.
Don't forget, if you're looking for more amazing podcast quality content, check out Even the Rich, especially if you like to get that behind-the-scenes life and the real story behind some of the most notable celebrities you've ever heard of, like Elton John, the Murdoch family, Mariah Carey,
Marilyn Monroe, Janet Jackson.
They have unimaginable stories that goes behind the glitz and glamours of these people's lives and gets the behind the scenes of what life was really like for them. Not just the stuff that we saw on the red carpet, but the real stories. It's juicy.
The nitty-gritty.
It's dramatic. It's a lot of tea. If you want to be in the know, Even the Rich is the show for you. Listen to Even the Rich on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen ad-free by joining Wondery Plus in Apple Podcasts or the Wondery app.
Okay, for starters, Pete Davidson and Miley Cyrus.
Well, I do a show with Miley's sister, so I would say that's probably going to be not going to happen. Maybe, though. They do their New Year's Eve show every year.
I think, and also more of like, what do we think about them as a couple as opposed to like the grounded feasibility of them getting together if they were to end up together?
On paper, it looks like they would be a fit. Both kind of, I don't know.
But I feel like they both, in their relationship history, have sought out people who are like a little more maybe reserved or grounded. Like I think they like being a little.
They were the edgy. Edgy.
So I don't know if they'd be too similar in that way.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, Pete Davidson and Martha Stewart.
She hangs out with Snoop.
She hangs out with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. I mean, imagine,
Maybe Pete needs to, well, Kim's older too.
Not as old as Martha.
No, but I was just about to say, maybe he should like date an older woman, but he just did.
Yeah.
I mean, just imagine like the post-sex breakfast in bed that Martha could bring.
Oh.
It'd be fire.
Yeah.
Like a
Snoop shows
frittata
up
or
with like
something.
a joint.
Well, there's a picture
You
where
have a button fall off, no problem.
Yeah, I got that. There's a picture where Pete is like being held by Martha Stewart, and it looks like, well, this is next. I don't know.
True love.
Okay.
Who else would be a good one? You got any other ones?
What about Pete Davidson and Doja Cat?
Not big enough.
Doja Cat's not big enough?
I think we got to go bigger. I mean, you got Kim Kardashian. She's like the biggest star on TV.
Ariana Grande, Kim Kardashian. Yeah. His roster is too impressive.
Okay, Meghan Markle.
Yeah.
Please don't break them up.
That one works.
No.
That one works.
You
That
think
one
that's
checks.
next?
Yeah.
No, absolutely
Or
not.
just the Queen.
That's what I said. Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Gonna find a little fling now that Philip's
If they don't work out, guaranteed to date Meghan.
Meghan Markle.
Yeah, if it doesn't work out between her and Harry.
I feel like she's pot committed.
They're happily committed in Santa Barbara. Oprah? What about Oprah?
Oprah. All right.
Is she not with
She's still with her long-term partner.
Stetson?
What if you send Pete an invitation to the wedding and just say +1 and we see who he brings?
I mean, I like that idea. I have met him, so
throw him an invite.
Yeah, why not?
What were your impressions of him?
He's very tall. Maybe like Paul Rudd.
What?
If Pete dated Paul Rudd.
Yeah, he needs
That
like a
would
nice,
be-
stable, grounded,
man in his
kind
life?
man who makes him laugh, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they'd be a cute couple.
They really would be. Also, him and John Mulaney. John Mulaney's joke where he's like, I would look like Pete Davidson's lawyer whenever we hang out. But I feel like he needs some balance. He needs some consistency.
Yeah.
He needs someone who he can be the fun one with.
Howie Mandel.
But maybe Pete just needs, if he's hurt, do we know who ended it? I know they probably said it was amicable.
Yeah, they just blamed distance.
Yeah, I think it was sort of like a fizzle out.
He
situation.
recently
I feel
wore
like it would have been Kim. If it's blaming
I feel like
distance.
it's Chris. Chris
You've been Chris.
she FaceTimes both of them and says, "Okay, I've done the math.
Like,
I got some schematics. I looked at the numbers, and it's time to end this one."
So wait, Ariana, she broke up with Pete.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kim broke up with Pete.
We don't know. We're speculating.
Who else did he date?
He dated the
Kyla Gerber,
Beckinsale.
Kate Beckinsale.
That was a good one. I think she broke up with him too. Is that his storyline? Is he the guy? Is he Ben Higgins? Is he unlovable?
Oh,
Speaking of, aren't you on TV with Ben right now?
I think it's.
Soon, right?
I think it would have been yesterday.
Yeah. Joe
Yeah.
McHale's new show. Was that fun?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
he-
Go check it out. Celebrity Beef on E.
He
I'm just
also
over here doing
dated,
promo for.
Yeah.
Phoebe from Bridgerton.
Olivia O'Brien.
Really?
Yeah.
He did Olivia O'Brien?
Well,
plays
Olivia
Daphne. I know
O'Brien
you're
claimed
Yeah.
that she and Davidson dated in October 2020.
I might believe her. You think she's lying?
Well, this is what the article
How
said.
old is
Age
she?
6.
That she was like a
Billie
baby.
Eilish.
Oh. That, for some reason, that feels really compelling.
Yeah.
There's something about that pairing that feels like really, really like it's like I can both picture them together, but also can't at all.
Yeah.
And there's something kind of like
She's young though. She's 20.
I know.
She's
Wait,
28.
What about Olivia Rodrigo? How old is she?
Like 4.
Yeah.
I think she's like also about the same age.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to think of like the biggest pop stars.
yeah,
right
like
now.
a really earth shattering.
She's 19. We can't set
Oh,
him up with
yeah.
teenagers.
No.
Yeah.
No teens for Pete. Well, okay. Additionally, in talking about the breakup, Kanye West very recently posted an
know.
Instagram.
Yeah, like this morning.
Yes. It's a falsified New York Times cover that says Skeet Davidson dead at age 28. I think the thing that we need to call attention to is the subtitle, which was Kid Cudi meant to play at funeral, but fearful of bottle throwers.
That's funny.
It's kind of funny. But it's just like, what a response to like your ex's most recent breakup.
I just like that Kanye owns his pettiness.
Yeah. It's a
Right?
little on the nose though. It's like the new stepmother who's mean, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
The ex-husband.
we get
who's-
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like he's supposed to like act as if he doesn't care, but he's like, no. I'm
Yeah.
gonna use my massive platform and let everyone know I'm really excited about this, and I fucking hate this guy, and I kind
and
of
also,
respect it.
fuck you, Kid
Yeah.
Cudi, while we're
Yeah.
at it.
Yeah.
Have you done anything super petty either after a breakup of yours or like after your ex had another breakup, any kind of misfortune? Have you said or thought anything petty?
Thought?
Yes.
Sure. Said?
Any zingers that are coming to mind?
No.
I got nothing.
Okay.
I'm a great guy.
Very pure people.
Mm-hmm.
What about Pete Davidson and like Taylor Swift? Like America's sweetheart.
Wow.
But
America's
Taylor,
Pete Hart.
Taylor, isn't she like?
Yeah, we're taking current relationships aside.
We're just those don't as it relates to Pete Davidson.
Yeah.
Current
Yeah.
relationships don't matter.
Well, if anyone can break up anybody, it's Pete Davidson.
It's Pete Davidson.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
Victoria.
What about one of the women of the
Angelina
U.S.
Jolie.
national soccer team?
Ooh,
Like
Alex Morgan.
Yes,
She's hot.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tobin Heath, stunning. Maybe likes women.
who's playing Marilyn Monroe?
Oh, Ana de Armas. That's a
Her?
good one.
That's
Yeah.
her and
I
Pete.
actually
I could see
thought about
that.
that in the car, and then was like, for some reason, it was like hard no. I
Oh.
cannot
I don't know.
see
They
them together as
both
a couple.
seem like Hollywood's like most eligible sexy
Yeah.
people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they seem sexy in entirely different ways.
Yeah, but you don't want to be sexy the same way.
Yeah, they're just both.
I would argue that they're sexy in contradicting ways.
How so? Well, you need to explain yourself.
Yeah. What does that mean?
You could just say it.
I just mean that, like, I think she is beautiful in a very like airbrushed, polished kind of way, and I think he's beautiful in a more like raw, authentic kind of way.
I think you're selling her short.
But also, you could call Kim Kardashian like the most airbrushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
polished.
it's her eyes. It's that she's like pure and like that she has this like nymph-like quality.
Mm.
You know, it's like if she's in a forest, she's the fairy. If
Oh,
Pete
that type of
Davidson's in the
nymph.
forest, he's doing drugs in there.
Yeah. Got it.
That's my only point. But
Okay.
I back down.
We are excited to find out what's next for Pete.
I mean, if nothing else, like just like slow clap for Pete that he has been able to do what he's done as, just like a really good stand-up comedian. The fact that he's been able to take down this much top tier bootay is just amazing. No?
He's
No,
got
it is.
I mean,
It's impressive.
He's got something.
it gives hope to a lot of skinny, funny guys.
Well, and it's like you're saying that you've had like relationships with Ariana Grande and Kim Kardashian, all these other famous people by the time you're 28. Like how?
Yeah, I know.
What a legacy.
That's
He should be on the
insane.
30 under 30 list
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, he should be on the cover. Like,
Do you think he settles down ever?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he wants.
he said he wants to be a dad.
Yeah, he wants to have kids.
That's awesome to think about him as like a girl dad. That makes me like really happy.
oh, he'll be like MGK girl dad. Good girl dads.
Do you think he regrets these tattoos though? Because he got like Kim's like "My girl's a lawyer" tattooed on him, and
I think he has so many that's
it doesn't matter.
doesn't matter, and it's easy to cover up with
Yeah.
another tattoo.
If you got a tattoo for someone and then you broke up, would you get it removed?
I mean, probably. I mean, it's hard to.
Why'd you just look at your arm?
I mean, I don't know. I just have tattoos, but I guess it just was a.
Is there one in mind?
No, I guess I was just kind of picturing where I would put one.
Yeah,
I suspect, I would cover it up.
out of respect for like the new person
Yeah.
in your life.
Oh, totally.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just keep adding.
I
them.
feel like there's very few endings to the sentence "my girl's a" that isn't pretty funny. Like "my girl's a surgical technologist."
Yeah.
That's so funny to me.
My girl's a lawyer.
Okay, so do we want to talk cock rings?
Yeah.
What?
Well, as our producer sent along,
yeah.
Frank Ocean is selling a 25K cock ring, and that's because it's solid gold. And
Is it sizable, size adjustable?
it does have
Because I got a feeling that
XX.
Frank Ocean and myself are two different sizes.
It's called the XXXLH
Nope,
bone
that's,
ring.
that's extra large.
You just assume he has a giant penis?
I just assume that I don't. So, that just sounds like a bracelet. Like
An
a gold,
anklet.
like a gold, like Cartier bracelet.
I'm curious what the appeal of cock rings is.
What does a cock ring do?
I think it makes
That's
you.
the question.
I think it makes you hard.
Does it like
Come on.
it like
I think there's a constriction element.
I want to go home.
Does it go under the balls or on top of the balls?
No, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I feel like it's on the
Not under.
bottom of
Yeah.
Does it go?
That feels great.
the bottom of
Yeah.
the shaft.
No.
How
Yeah.
would you get the balls in?
I don't, one by one, I suppose.
And what's its intended use? To like make it harder?
Yes.
I'm
I-
googling.
Yeah. It's like tension, I think.
I think it's the constriction.
Yeah.
I also thought it was maybe cosmetic. Like it was just like a little bit of bling
Got it.
for the
Bling
thing.
on your balls.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So excuse me. There's also a type of cock ring called a Pinot
Grigio.
Pinot scrotal ring, which can go around the penis and the testicles.
Thank you. I knew it existed.
You will not. Your answer, your prayers did not go unheard.
Wells is like, I know it exists. I have one.
I'm wearing it right now.
Okay, so why people use it, and according to Medical News Today, greater stamina. So I think it's maybe there's a longevity element. For people who have for ED, erectile dysfunction, a cock ring may help because it traps the blood inside the penis.
Mm.
And then there's also more stimulation for all parties. So I don't know if there's like an element of like some people getting like ribbed.
Vibrating cock ring.
Yeah, I'm sure it's out there.
Yeah, that's a thing. French tickler, I think.
All right.
Do you think would you spend $25K on any like sex accessory at all?
I can't imagine that I would. If my sex life was at a place where maybe things weren't working, maybe I was experiencing some ED, I suppose, and would I invest $25,000 of money, assuming I had $25,000 to invest in? I mean, $25,000 in better sex with your partner, is, I think, worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, is there like a base model, like a $15 one we can try? Because here's my thing. I feel like the resale value on a $25,000 cock ring is pretty low. Like, no one's gonna want to buy that.
Yeah,
Like
once
you
you
might have to pay them to take it.
once
Yeah,
you drive
yeah,
it
yeah.
off the lot, it probably appreciates.
yeah, real fast.
Yeah.
It's solid gold, and it's kind of upsetting to think about someone melting that down and then it
Mm.
becoming someone else's like necklace one day.
Actually, you wouldn't want to be like, yeah, this used to be Frank Ocean's cock ring.
It's actually Wells' like wedding ring that he
Yeah,
puts on
yeah,
his finger.
Back to Jennifer Coolidge talk if we want to. She spoke about after playing Stifler's mom in American Pie, she got a lot of action.
Yeah.
And I'm curious if there is anybody who like their role in a movie cemented them as like sexualized them in a way that you might not have before.
Yeah, Salma Hayek, Desperado.
Oh, you
That
had
was
that
so
in the
quick.
chamber, just ready to
I mean,
fire.
she was my only real celebrity crush.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Man. I mean, that one's so specific because that's like the whole stepmom fantasy that's, taking over porn right now.
Did she specify if it was like younger men that she was hooking up with?
I think that's the implication when I read that article.
Yeah, it was definitely the implication. It's also, I feel like OG MILF role.
Yeah.
I mean, I think they literally coined the phrase.
Maybe it came from that movie.
Yeah,
I could see Stifler saying that.
there was the quote that she was like, there would be 200 people that I would never have slept with had I like not gotten that role. And so I know she doesn't actually mean 200 people, but if you say like 200, you're talking
She
like
fucked a lot.
Yeah.
yeah,
good
a
for her.
lot.
I mean, that's at least 100,
Yeah.
Mhm.
cut
Or
that
like-
in half.
Even if it's 50.
And to be honest with you, usually you undersell your number, so it might be 400.
That's true.
Good for her.
If she's saying 200, I have a feeling it's at least 100.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, but I think to Wells's point, if you're dating a girl and she says I've slept with 15, you're like, okay, so you've slept with 25 people.
Yeah.
That's fine. No judgment.
You really always
She would have been
assume.
booked out for years.
I think it's assumed. I think men assume that women undersell their number for fear of judgment.
Is that considered lying?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
I
don't do
understand where the lie comes from. Again, society often will slut shame women for having sexual partners, at least historically. It's not seen as the same as when guys do it. So I understand where it comes from. But I mean, it's not necessarily like, I wouldn't call it honesty.
Sure. How do you keep track of the people,
don't.
your number?
I have a note in my phone.
I do too.
I've no.
With like all the names?
No,
Well, yeah,
Natalie's got
yeah.
the same. No, I've
Girls
found that
have that.
Yeah.
women have an actual roster.
Yeah.
I don't think guys do. I have no idea.
Because you're a coxman and you lost track years ago.
No, but like,
200 women.
no, I really my number's far less than anyone thinks. But
Really?
truly, but I also I'm older and I just I have slept with people more than just, I've slept with people that just my girlfriends. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah.
So if I took the time, I guess I could sit down, but I haven't kept a running total.
Yeah. I went through like my contacts lists one time because I feel like if I slept with them, then I definitely had their number and we're, dating or whatnot. And so I went and did like a rough estimate.
How
And
do
I was nowhere near Jennifer Coolidge post American Pie.
How do you all feel about not like what number, but like how do you feel about your number? Like, do you have any stories about, or like stories as in like the psychology, like therapy term of like, do you have any like meaning that you assign to your number?
I just wish I had Frank Ocean's cockring more often,
Absolutely.
Really would have done some. People might have hung out with me longer, if I had that.
I'm not a big numbers person. I don't really care about my partner's number or vice versa. My number, it tells an accurate story of, I guess, who I was single for a while. So there you go.
As long as the number doesn't correlate to you having monkeypox right now, I think that's what's important.
Certainly. Certainly. My ex found the note with my the list
Why
on
was
our
he going through your
anniversary dinner.
notes?
Really?
Your neck ex.
Yeah, it was like our anniversary dinner. I don't know. It was like something I gave him my phone. Like it wasn't like
You're like, what's this? All these guys' names
Well-
are these names you want to name your firstborn son?
Tell me you had a title for it was like past dudes.
Okay,
I've,
actually, so the title is so embarrassing because it's meant to be a total misdirect.
Yeah.
It's meant to just be look like it's a list of songs.
Like
Got
baby
it.
names.
So it's called. So the title is "Music to Watch Boys To" by Lana Del Rey. It's with the by Lana Del Rey. It's literally the title. And somehow, lo and behold,
figured it out?
at the anniversary dinner.
Do you have your list divided between the men and women that you've slept with?
So no, I all one list, but I do have an honorable mentions section, which is we didn't.
So you have them ranked.
No. I have honorable mentions, which is we didn't hook up, but we fooled around.
Like you tickled their balls or something.
Ew.
Wait, but hold on. If you hooked up, you fooled around.
Okay. I mean, we did not
No,
have
but sex.
We
no,
did
I
not
think-
have sex.
Yeah.
Got it. Do you guys consider the term "we hooked up" meaning we had sex?
Yes.
I can
Nowadays, yeah. I think if you didn't have sex, you need to specify you didn't have sex if you're going to say we hooked up in today's dating climate.
Mm-hmm.
But see, that's what's confusing to me because you could say we hooked up, which to me doesn't mean necessarily that you had sex. But if you say we had sex, and you had sex.
I think it's big. I think 20 years ago,
Yeah.
or 15 years ago, hooked up, you didn't get to assume. But nowadays, everyone's fucking. And I think
know.
you have to be like, we hooked up, but we didn't have sex.
Everything's crazy nowadays.
Yeah.
I do think Dr. Solomon has a line in her book where she's like, it's an intentionally vague term
Yeah.
because it's sort of so that way you can keep it like depending on the context that you want to share with people, you can kind of be a little more like withholding and mysterious about it.
Breaking news, Tyler Cameron and Paige are no longer dating.
Yeah, we got that news like 25, 30 minutes ago.
What happened?
I don't know. He
did
did
it-
an interview at the end of July where he was saying all good things.
He kept it very vague,
Yeah.
where he was just like, we care about each other, but we
We
went our
needed to
separate
take a
ways.
step back.
Sounds like it was his call.
Maybe Kris Jenner was like,
Yeah.
I've done
Chris
the
wants
numbers.
Tyler now with Kim.
Yep, mhm.
They're going to
Tyler Cameron and Pete Davidson.
Well, I mean, didn't Tyler kiss Kim on SNL or something like that?
Oh, yeah,
he
they
was in
did.
that sketch. They
Yeah.
didn't kiss.
Okay, so maybe
Here it is.
here it is. Tyler
You heard
Tyler
it here
Cam-
first.
is the next Kim Kardashian.
I like Tyler, but I don't feel like he is at the level to date either of them.
Sure, but
Who's to say?
maybe Tyler's just banking on it.
Yeah, actually, he did date. Was it Bella?
Gigi.
Gigi? I don't know.
Mhm.
A Hadid.
A Hadid.
He did. He went to grandma's funeral.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really.
That was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah.
It really was. All right, texting office hours. Here we go. How's it going?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm Carly. I'm 23, and I need help drafting a text for a guy that ghosted me.
Okay. Well, I guess my first question is why do we want to text a guy that ghosted you?
Well, so some backstory is basically we met each other. Went to high school together. We've known each other for about 6 or 7 years, I think. And we were friends in high school. Kind of had a crush on each other. We didn't really do anything about it because then we both got significant others. So like nothing really ever came of it. But then recently I was swiping on Bumble and came across his profile and like pretty casually, I wasn't really thinking anything would happen. But casually swiped right and messaged him. And so we started chatting and we hung out. We had a great time. We kissed and like I kind of felt a spark. So I was kind of hoping something would come of it after that. And he had even asked me like, do you still have a crush on me? Because I still have a crush on you. So I was like, oh, okay. Something maybe would happen here. I don't know. I was kind of hoping it would turn into more. But basically we ended up hanging out 2 more times after that. The first time was pretty casual. We hung out for like 5 hours. It was just like just very friendly. We went and got coffee and then chatted for a while. And then the second time we went and got drinks and went back to his apartment and ended up hooking up. And then after that, it was like ghost town. Nothing else happened. So before that, he had been like initiating cute text messages and we were just having fun. And then after that, it was like nothing.
And you sent all these texts. Yeah, it seems very outgoing.
Yeah. So he had texted me a couple of times, like when we were hanging out, he had initiated texts being pretty flirtatious, I think. And then after that, after we hooked up and I didn't hear back from him, I had sent a couple of text messages and it was pretty dry.
Do we have any of those text messages that you sent after
Yes.
you hooked up?
When I said, hey, what are you up to? And he said he was going to work.
Oh,
and
so
then
he did
didn't really-
respond.
He did respond. Yeah.
So this was after you hooked up. Hey, what are you up to tonight? And he wrote, just got off work, going to trivia with some coworkers. Sorry, I've disappeared. Was moving yesterday and I'm still settling in. Okay. Okie doke, you right? No need to apologize. All good.
This was a couple of days ago.
A couple days ago. And that, like,
Yeah.
this okie dokie, no need to apologize, all good, was the last thing you sent him and he's never followed up.
Yes.
So it's a soft ghost. He hasn't,
It was a soft ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, he responding to you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's just been-
did he really move?
He just like moved apartments. We live in a really small town. So
Yeah.
he didn't move like out of state or anything.
Okay.
He just switched apartments.
Okay. I'm comfortable. Yeah. Because when you started I got ghosted by someone, I just wanted to encourage you to move on. But I feel like it's unclear.
When you guys hooked up, was it like enjoyable or
Yeah.
was it awkward?
No, it wasn't awkward, but like it was kind of painful. And so I
Like,
wanted it
literally?
to be over. Yeah, like I was dating a guy for a really long time, and then we broke up, and I just didn't want to like do anything for a while after that. So this was like my first hookup for a little while. So it just hurt.
Okay.
And I wanted it to be over pretty quickly, and it was. And yeah, I don't think it was after that. It was awkward after that. But like something in his demeanor definitely changed after that. I was like, you can finish. And he was like, okay. And that was that.
But you said it was over pretty quickly. Is there a world in which like he's embarrassed for being a two-pump chump?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean,
I gotta say, as a guy, you can finish is not necessarily your favorite thing to hear. Because it reads with get it over with.
Yeah.
Which I totally get where you're coming from, but I just, to Wells's point, maybe he could be feeling a little
emasculated?
Or just not, I mean, like maybe a little rejected in that moment.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to be like, I was pretty transparent with him. Like I felt like comfortable being open with him. And I had initially told him I wasn't looking for like a hookup. Like the first time we hung out, he asked me to come back to his apartment and I said, no, like, I don't want to do that yet. And then so when we did hook up, I like told him after, I was like, hey, that was kind of painful for me. I just want you to know. And so he was like aware, I think, because I just had told him straight up, here's how I felt.
How did he handle that?
Well, he said after, it didn't seem like you were expecting to hook up tonight. And I said, no, I mean, I wasn't, but I felt comfortable with everything. And he wasn't, I don't think he perceived that negatively.
I have a question. What do you want out of this? Like, do you like this guy enough to like make the effort, or like, are you just kind of confused at the kind of slight ghosting that's happened?
That's a great question. Yeah, like what specifically is your desire to want to text him? What do you hope to get out of it?
Yeah, so I think a little bit of time has passed and I've just sort of been ruminating on this. But like ultimately I would like to continue talking to him.
Okay.
And just kind of see where things go. I mean, I'm not like thinking about the future too far ahead, but I'd like to continue talking to him. But I'm really also just super confused about why things happened, how they happened, and why he stopped talking to me.
Well, I think you have two options. You could try to send some sort of like pretty basic text to see if he wants to hang out. And then if he does hang out, have a conversation with him about like what you want. Or you could try to address this all via text for fear that it might not get that far. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
So far, you seem like a very like upfront, honest woman, and like pulling no punches, no bullshit. Like you told him like, hey, listen, just so you know, like that was kind of painful for me, or like that was kind of awkward or whatever. And yeah, of course, like I wasn't like really sure that we were going to hook up. Like you've been very, very straightforward. It seems to me you should continue that of like, hey, just so you know, like I do want to see where this goes because I'm interested in like, and continue to be blunt because it sounds like that's who you are. And I don't think that like having some like quippy, fun, like text message thing is authentic to you.
Yeah, I don't think there's like I agree with Wells. I don't think there's a joke you want to like, if you're going to text him, it would say something like, if you want to address it right away, it would be something like this. It's just like, hey, I just like, how's the move going? I just wanted to say, I've really enjoyed hanging out with you. And then say that, and then address the sex. We're just be like, you know, I know like we hooked up. I wasn't expected it. That can sometimes be, you know, I'm sure both of us, you could just acknowledge the awkwardness, but then say, I'd still like to hang out with you again because like I've really enjoyed the time I've had with you. Like throw him a compliment or something. It would be something like that where it's just like, to Wells's point, just address the thing that you're feeling and see if he's mature enough to handle it. Because you don't want to waste your time with a guy who isn't mature enough to like handle this.
Okay.
Which a lot of guys aren't, or a lot of people aren't, you know, unfortunately. Like hooking up can be awkward and weird and like and vulnerable. And so like you should be able to hook up with a guy where you can say that to and him not get weird about. You know, he could be empathetic, be like, "Oh, I totally like, you know, I don't, you know, not that he understands, but you know, just try to make you not feel like it was weird for you to experience that.
Yeah. So you think I should address the sex in the text message?
I think it's, if you want to, I think you have two choices: to either try to just reach out to him and express that you want to hang out with again with a, hey, I've really had fun with you. I'd like to see you again. It could be that simple, and see if he addresses it. The only the argument to not do that is that if he rejects you somehow or flakes on you, then will you be left thinking, well, had I addressed it, like, did that stop the thing from us moving forward? Now, I would just say, like, listen, that you shouldn't worry about that, but that's easier said than done. Do you think that you would ruminate over that if you didn't get to address it right away?
Probably. Yeah.
I don't know all the facts, but what it sounds like to me is that there's a possibility that the thing that has pushed him away a little bit is like the acknowledgement of like an awkward hookup, maybe.
Okay.
And so I think you guys have already gone down that road of like addressing the hookup situation. I think maybe where his apprehension is he's not sure if you still want to be in this. And so I would say, like, what he just said without the hookup talk, like, hey, just want to let you know, like, I've really enjoyed my time with you. It was so much fun. I'd like to keep on hanging out with you, like insinuating that like you want to continue going further, and then see how he responds. If he's like, you know what, I'm really not ready for a relationship, then like you've gotten your answer. But I wonder if one of the things that he's having a problem with is like the knowledge that like he finished quickly and that was a weird hookup. I don't know.
I mean, he's got a point. You just saying that you want to see him again could be enough for him to convince himself it was fine. I mean, to that end, if it was like, if you hated hooking up with him, you probably wouldn't reach out.
Yeah.
It was just like naturally awkward.
I guess that was my goal, sending the text that said, hey, like, what are you up to? Because even though he said, like, hey, I'm busy, he didn't follow up with like, oh, but I'm free this time.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think it's safe for you to assume that for whatever reason, he has pulled back. You know, he's not excited or whatever he is. He has definitely pulled back from this situation, because that's obvious. It's like his interactions has changed. So like you have to shoot your shot with that knowledge that, like, there's more uncertainty for you, right? Okay. And so you just have to face that reality and reach out to him knowing that you don't know why, you just know that he has. But to Wells' point, it's probably better to have any conversation around that topic face to face, and maybe just you putting it out there that you want to hang out with him should be enough, right?
What do you ladies think?
I feel like it kind of has to be a balance, because if you want to see him again, like, obviously shoot your shot, send the text. I don't think it's like amazing that he's not necessarily like providing other times. So I just think like it's a proceed with caution situation of like what Nick told me something at one point. He's like, just like flag the fact that this guy has like disappointed you before and he can continue to disappoint you and you have a lot to get to know about him. So it's just like, I think there's nothing wrong in like trying to see him again and maybe like rewriting some of the bad hookup, or like trying again. Like, yeah.
To that point, because we're talking all about this like sex interaction, and maybe we're just making excuses for him.
Yeah,
there is that. You know, maybe this is what he does. We don't know. I feel like I have an answer. Let me know what you guys think. Here's what I think you should do, and we've kind of had a version of this. I think you think of something specific, because instead of like, hey, we should hang out sometime, I think you should be like, there's this thing I want you to take you us. We should go do this, whatever it is. Maybe this dinner place you want to go. Maybe there's some sort of bar you want to take but a specific thing, so that he can like say yes or no to that specific thing. If he says no, like, oh, I have plans, or don't even pick a date unless you have a specific event, but like try to, and then if he rejects that like one request, then you can throw out this like, well, I'd love to see you again. Let me know. But like, then you've done enough. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I feel like a specific request almost, it doesn't sound like, I would hate for you to send that like, hey, it's me. We should hang out again. I think you should almost act as if like it's normal for you to text him, you know, like that you being like, hey, I have this thing we should go to.
And like what day works for you?
Yeah. Like this almost like Not that you're like shy about it, but like, hey, there's this thing we should go to. Not would you like to go? I think you should say we should do this thing together and maybe do that. And like, and then see what he says. If he says yes, then great. And if he says, oh, I don't know if I can, I'm busy, then you say, well, I've really enjoyed hanging out with you as a follow-up to that, right? I've hung out with you. I'd like to see you again. And
Balls in your
court.
Yeah.
I like that. I'll do that. There's a lot going around. Like, there's a lot of things to do in our town, so that'll be good.
But the important thing is that first message is not to ask him if he wants to, just say, we should do this.
Should I say we should go if you're interested, or just like we should go?
No, not if you're interested. We should go.
Okay.
We should go do this thing.
Because it's more casual that way.
It's more casual, and you're assuming that he should want to go.
Okay.
Yeah, we should go to this. What night, like what day next week are you free or something?
Or even have it be very specific. Eric Church is playing at the Troubadour on Tuesday. I got 2 tickets. You want to go? It'd be a lot of fun. And if he's like, no, then it's like, all right, well, I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you. If you want to get together, then balls in your court, bro.
I still think it's the we should go, not do you want to go. I just think you should assume, like when you text that, it's like you have the expectation rather than, it just shows to him that you are in control of what you want rather than like, she's hoping I say yes.
Okay.
And then the follow-up, if he doesn't want to go, could just be well, I've had fun with you, balls in your court, let me know if you want to get together. I think you can judge him a little bit for his response,
very
for
defensive.
sure.
Yeah.
And remember that if he doesn't respond the way you want. Because like if he doesn't respond the way you want, then he maybe is just like in this very much a fuckboy era, and this is nothing that you did. It's just like it was going to happen anyways.
Yeah.
And these are just excuses you're making for him.
For sure. Okay.
Because there's no reason why he shouldn't want to go on like another date. Like you don't just hook up with someone and refuse to like do a follow-up unless you were just like had every intention of just being a fuckboy.
Yeah, which it didn't seem like that to begin with. So
yeah, but so that's why we're giving him a shot. But
okay.
But don't be afraid to like cast him off accept who he is if he shows you that.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
All right, let us know.
Thank you. I will.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, bye.
How's it going?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm 29 years old. So the goal of this text would be potentially to remedy my relationship with my boyfriend's brother.
Okay.
But I'm still not quite sure if I want to do that or not.
So you're not getting along with your boyfriend's brother?
Yes.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
A little background. So my boyfriend and I have been dating for 5 years, and when the 2020 election happened, there was a lot of tension and things kind of exploded. And I was sent quite a nasty text message from my boyfriend's brother, which kind of gave me my first panic attack ever in my life. And so it was pretty traumatic for me.
What was in the message?
It was kind of attacking me personally and things he felt threatened by me, and how I'm not right for his brother. And then he also mentioned a couple sensitive things that I'm slightly insecure about a little, like how my boyfriend and I started dating. It wasn't necessarily the cleanest of beginnings. There was a little bit of cheating involved, which I feel slightly guilty, or I feel guilty about. And so he mentioned those things.
So early on, you did some wrongs in the beginning of the relationship, and he threw that in your face?
Yes.
And this text was around the election. Is he aware of like what your boyfriend voted for, and is it like and he blames you for that kind of thing?
I don't think he knows who my boyfriend voted for, but
so
we definitely are different in our political beliefs. He didn't really blame me. It was just like a difference in views, which with alcohol it escalated. And so I knew there was like a difference in views going in, and I tried not to talk about it when we went to visit them. And I would physically try to run away and exit their place when the discussions came up. And one time I couldn't run away, and it just got really heated.
Did you show your boyfriend these text messages from his brother?
Yes, I did.
And what was his response?
He thought it wasn't right. Well, at first I was having my panic attack when he first walked in. And so he just like held me and calmed me down. And then afterwards, he was, he didn't think it was, he thought it was like beyond rude. And so him and his brother started like a dialogue about how like that wasn't right, like you should apologize to her. And the apology never came until about 2 days ago. So it's been like 2 years since this all happened, and he sent a long apology text recently, which is why I wrote in, because I'm not sure what to do about it. Because when I first saw the text, my anxiety went up and I was really scared. And then, but I sent in the apology message.
Do you mind if we read it?
Yeah, you can read it.
Hey, the way I expressed my feelings was out of line. In no way do I ever expect you to forgive what I said. I do ask that you allow me to have a relationship with my brother. It's no excuse, but I recognize I had a drinking problem then, and I have since addressed it. I have been sober for 1 year and 1 month. Again, this isn't an excuse, but I do realize it clouded my rational thinking and allowed me to express myself beyond my true feelings. I miss seeing you guys and believe we can be civil and move past the past. We may not be friends or anything, but believe we can at least be on the same side for my family's sake. If you have feelings or thoughts you'd like to express, I would love to hear back from you. Otherwise, I apologize for the past and just ask, be allowed to
have a relationship with my brother again. Good night.
Oh, okay. I see how it's. Okay.
And he's throwing in exclamation points.
It was a very good apology.
It was.
As far as apologies go. And then like the timing of it, while 2 years after the fact, I think the drinking and the sober element seem to be playing a role. Do you have any idea of whether he's like in AA or anything like this? Because this sure kind of sounds like
13th step or whatever,
like
the apology step.
He's kind of reaching out to people he realizes he's wronged and making amends.
I am not sure.
Okay. It's not necessarily relevant, but I was just curious.
The one thing that that sticks out in this is it implies that you aren't allowing him to have a relationship with his brother. Is that the case? Are you like, hey, listen, I don't want you to talk to your brother anymore?
No, actually, it's the opposite. I like try to encourage my boyfriend to talk to his brother. I've just laid a hard boundary for myself, and like I don't want to be involved, or I didn't want to be involved in his brother's life at all after that happened. But his brother has 2 kids, so it's my boyfriend's nephews, and I'm like, you should talk to them. You should hang out with them. I can see my boyfriend's side where maybe he feels like he has to choose a side, which I've tried to not make that the case. Okay. But
well, listen, it was before this apology showed up, I could see him. Maybe he, I don't know. You could ask him too, but maybe he kind of held this really hard boundary that, like, if you want a relationship with me, you have to apologize for what you said and what you did. And until that came, he was kind of enforcing that boundary. What does your boyfriend think of this apology?
He didn't really say. We've talked about scenarios where if his brother has apologized, that like personally, I don't want to physically go to their place. Like I would like a middle meeting ground, because we used to always have to go to their place to hang out. But he didn't really give me an opinion when I showed him the text message.
Okay. Maybe he needs to process it, and that's okay. Here's my thought. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer, but this is what I would do, which is easier for me to say because I didn't experience the past 2 years. But it was obviously a very gracious text. There seems to be a lot of valid explanations as to like maybe why. Not that, again, like he said, doesn't mean you don't have to forgive him. But I think acknowledging it, that you received it, is good. And I think maybe you could write something where you say, first of all, I want to thank you for your apology. It meant a lot just to hear that. I'm really happy that you have been able to work on this stuff, or you've, maybe acknowledged that he's been working on it sober. If you're not, like, let's say you're just not ready, like maybe it's just like, which would be valid, right? You put up this wall, you set this barrier, and then he kind of at his convenience reached out and apologized. It would make sense that you or your boyfriend aren't just like ready to dive back in. And I think that's okay to say. You can like thank him for the note and then say, I just want to like maybe like sit with this for a while. And I think, kind of like acknowledge maybe there's hope in reconciliation, but like you just need some time to process, but you do appreciate the apology. And then maybe that's a good first step. You're not making any promises. If you want and are willing, you can just, it would be a nice olive branch to offer is like, hey, I'm not there yet and I still want to process this, but that was, thank you for apologizing. It doesn't mean a lot. Thank you. I'm glad you're working on this. And maybe, in the future, after let me think about it, we can maybe talk about, and maybe just say like overall, like, unless you disagree, you could say, I hope that we can get to a place in the future where there's a some kind of relationship. You're kind of vague, but like, assuming that's what you want, right? Like,
I think also he needs to prove to you that he's going to put in the work to fix this. Like, this is a great first start. He's cathartic and he's apologizing, but like, this is the first step in over 2 years where you've had 2 years to basically like have this wound fester for you. And like, yes, it's a great first step, but like, brother-in-law, like you need to do more to prove that like I feel comfortable around you and wanting to like re-engage in that relationship.
Do you think she should include that in the first text back, or do you think that's something that could be said in a conversation down the road when they meet face to face?
I think that's something that you say to your boyfriend that he's like, hey, listen, she's still really hurt, and you still got to do. You got to still prove to her, and because here's the thing, this guy's hurt because his relationship with his brother is now non-existent, right? Like, so that's where the crux is. And so, and I can totally relate to this. My family is like completely split politically, and like it's been an absolute nightmare. So I really understand where you're coming from. Well, he wants to fix this mainly because he wants his brother back, I think. But like, you guys are a package deal, right? And so for your brother, for your boyfriend to go back and be around the brother, he needs to do work with you. And that's going to take time. And I think that I agree with what Nick said, like, hey, listen, I appreciate that. It's going to, I need some time to sit with this or whatnot. And then you need to have the conversation with your brother or with your boyfriend to be like, hey, listen, I don't want to be the thing that like stops your relationship with your brother. But I understand where we can't all be together until like I'm in the room and like going over there and playing with the kids. So you need to relay this to your brother that he needs to work more with me. That's how I would go about it.
I also think it's okay for you to, at some point, I don't know when, and not necessarily a text right away, but it sounds like you really haven't been able to express to him how he made you feel, right? It's one thing that he apologized and he recognized, but like, it sounds like he really said some things that hurt you and it stuck with you for a while. And I think you have a right to at least say that to him so that he can hear you and then say, I'm sorry, because, he's assuming everything and obviously he sent the text, but like, I think you would have the right if you wanted to express to him just in fact how that made you feel when you heard it and the damage it did. I mean, that's all great. I just think if this gets to a point where it seems like everyone hopes it can, but there's a lot of justifiable reasons why it might not. But I think there's probably going to be a lot of conversations that might need to happen. Unless you are certain that you don't want a relationship with him at all, I think it would be good to acknowledge that you received it via a message, because like I probably, again, I'm not trying to give him any credit, but it probably took a lot for him to send that, and for you to not acknowledging it would probably hurt his feelings and do some damage again, and if you're not in any way entitled to do that, but unless you're certain you don't want a relationship, I would just send, it could be even very brief. Thank you. Thank you for apologizing.
Congratulations on the sobriety. Like that's a huge accomplishment.
I hope that we can find a relationship. If I need some time with this, I need to think about this. I never want to come in between you guys. Maybe you could throw that in there because it's not really you. You're the one who's already told him. Hopefully this is a first step to healing, but you don't have to make any promises or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just worry that even if I say that, he's going to want to like hang out immediately, which makes me scared a little.
Well, are you comfortable setting that boundary? I mean, like to Waz's point, your boyfriend needs to kind of step up here and be involved and not leaving it up to you to be the the enforcer or the bad guy here.
Like, I think also he needs to hang out with his brother, the two of them one-on-one.
Yeah, like you definitely deserved the apology from him, but like now that I'm surprised to hear that your boyfriend was kind of like you don't really know what his reaction was.
Yeah, I think he doesn't like talking about it with me that much because when it first happened, I'm very analytical and I kept bringing it up constantly, which made him not too happy about it.
Well, I think you need to address that with your boyfriend. You guys need to be able to work through this. It cannot be something you guys just decide not to talk about because it's clearly affecting both of you.
I'm on your side with all of this, but families are tricky. And if this relationship with your boyfriend means a lot to you, you're going to probably have to bend a little bit because you don't want to be the sister-in-law that everyone hates in the family. You know, like that's just a tough thing. Even though you're in the right, like if this relationship has legs, unfortunately, you're going to have to compromise a little bit with this brother, I think.
I think, yeah, like the phrasing of maybe like, thank you. I can see that you put a lot of thought into this apology. Like, thank you for writing this down. Congratulations on the sobriety. Like, that's an amazing accomplishment. Like, right now, I still use some space, but like, I hope you and insert boyfriend's name. But like, I have made it very clear to like him that like, I like your two relationships is for you too. And like, hope that you can re-enter each other's lives. And that way it's like, at least not like, you know, you can say, I need space, but like, I'm being nice to you, and I'm also saying you fully have my blessing to carry on the relationship with your brother, like get back in each other's lives.
Yeah, I think that would be solid. And also and I would understand if you can't get there, but like, and I don't have a lot of experience with, but if this person was like an alcoholic and reacted very poorly to being drunk, you know, maybe there's and I guess what I'm saying is I'd understand that like right now when I say, you know, maybe do this, maybe do that, you're imagining how the person you used to know would react. And it might be possible that, you know, that the person you knew, would he write this message? I guess what I'm saying is maybe there has been some growth with this person and giving him a small amount of leash to see if he continues to show that, what might be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, I haven't never really known him sober. Every time we've hung out, it has been like drinking involved. So
yeah, I think it'd be safe for you to express, like, you know, it's basically to sum it up. You're gracious for the apology. You congratulate him for the sobriety, but you still have some hesitation and you need some time. But ultimately, you don't want to come between him and his brother and his relationship. And you need to have a conversation with your boyfriend to make sure that you're not the scapegoat for him not to have a relationship with his brother. If he doesn't want to have a relationship with his brother, then he needs to own that and communicate that with him and not let you be the bad guy.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I could do that. I just worry because it's been almost more than a week since I received the message. If I need to explain why
it took him 2 years to write you.
Yeah.
I think you're fine on that.
Yeah, it's only been a week. And you can just say, listen, thank you for the message. I needed some time just to think about it.
And I still need more time to
but yes, I really think I really.
Or if you say like this, I can like, thank you for this message. I can tell you put so much like time and thought into this. Like, I'm like, sorry for the delay, or like, don't even need to apologize, but like wanted to put equal amount of like thought into my response. Like that's maybe one way of phrasing it.
I guess what I'm saying is this message came from someone, to me, it sounds like has done some work. And either they had someone write it for them or he really put some thought into like improving. So that person should be understanding that you took a week to respond and you might need a little bit more time before you're ready to pretend nothing happened anymore. And you doing that will be a barometer to see if he is in fact, if his actions can match this apology. And if you have to then like put that boundary right back up, then you can go ahead and do that.
Yeah, I like that. I think, I feel like I should acknowledge his apology because it was a nice apology. I'm just nervous.
I understand.
Yeah.
I really, something tells me you really need to have a bigger conversation with your boyfriend.
Yeah.
Because you feel like you're on an island with this, and it doesn't seem, I don't feel like you should be feeling like you're dealing with this by yourself.
Well, it's like a reoccurring theme with this particular brother and his family that he makes, like he says some very offensive things, and everyone is normally quick to forgive him because he's family, and I've been the only person that's kind of laid a hard boundary in their family of when this occurred.
Totally.
And so I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah, but to Wells's point, if you want, like, it is his family, and we all have family where it can be really challenging, but because they're family, we do what we can to at least make sure there's some kind of relationship. So all I'm saying is that you and your boyfriend need to get on some sort of the same page where, like, at least you're aligned, or at least understand where the other person's coming from. Because we're asking you a lot of questions you just don't have answers to. And it just seems like you're both handling this brother completely independently of one another. And that just doesn't seem to be like the best way to go about it. All right.
yeah. Hmm.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
keep us posted.
Good luck.
Let us know how it goes.
Thanks for your help.
All right.
Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure. Wells, thanks so much.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure, buddy. Also, let them know where they can follow you. Wells Adams.
Yeah. At Wells Adams, like basically on everything. And then
your podcast.
I got a podcast called Your Favorite Thing Podcast with Brandy Cyrus, and you can listen to that wherever you get podcasts. And it's just like a fun kind of suggestion podcast where we talk about whatever our favorite things are that week. So like whatever shows we're binging, whatever books we're reading, whatever music we're into. So yeah, there's a lot of negativity in the world. We thought we'd do a show that was just kind of like all things that we love. I think that's it. Bachelor in Paradise airs a week later on the 27th. And I love you so much.
I love you.
Good to be here.
Can't wait to spend more time with you.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys. Don't forget to send in those questions at AskNick@castmedia.com. Cast with a K for all things Ask Nick, whether it's texting office hours, your Ask Nicks, or even your mediations. We're still welcoming those. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week. Hey guys, thanks for watching, but before you go, make sure you like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos like our Monday's Ask Nick for your favorite relationship stories and advice, and our Tuesday Bachelor recaps. See you next time.